Hi, everybody. It's episode 506 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. I am Chris. With me is Droo
Hello.
and Walnut.
Yeah, I'm here.
How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
I'm tired.
Me too. I'm also oddly warm. Like, it's not particularly warm out, but this room is just a little humid today. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
No, being warm sucks. It's for the birds.
Yeah, it's just, it's not comfortable. And it's one of those, like, being warm and then being in someplace cool where you're going to, like, be cooled off after a few minutes, like, that's fine. But just being in a room that's, like, warm, no one wants that.
No. It's the worst.
It's 2024.
Exactly. It's just going to keep getting warmer, so got to get used to it.
You're not wrong. That's why we've had one snowfall in the last, 3 years?
Yeah, it was 3 years. Not necessarily one snowfall, but one major storm in 3 years.
One actual, like, accumulation of snow in 3 years.
Yeah.
So we've had, like, flurries and, like, a little bit of dustings, but I think this year was the first time in 3 years that we had...
Like, more than an inch or something.
Snow that affected drive time and things like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. So, do you guys know what today is?
It's not 420, so...
Yep, nope.
No, that was over the weekend. It is the 10th anniversary episode of this fucking show.
Oh, shit.
10 years? That's too many.
Our first episode was published on April 21st, 2014.
That's too many. In that episode, we recorded live at Geek Fest, and we talked about Captain America Winter Soldier.
That is true. We did, because it had come out that weekend, I want to say.
Days before it had come out either that weekend or like the weekend before or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, like I don't remember if we had gone to see it. So Geek Fest was a Saturday, I believe. So we must have it must have been like a Friday night screening or something like that.
Oh yeah. I saw Captain America Winter Soldier 3 times. Twice before it came out.
Nerd.
Look, how did I saw it for an early screening. And then I saw it, I guess it was the technically midnight airing or something, but Dawn had an extra ticket to a double screening of Captain America: First Avenger and Winter Soldier, and I was like, I'll take it, and so I went and saw it with them, and then I saw it in King of Prussia. And so yeah, I saw it 3 times, twice before it even came out. Technically, I don't know how the double screening had it before it came out. It might have been like the day before, something like that. They were able to get away with it.
Nice. Good job. Good job seeing it so many times.
Yeah.
I think I've actually only seen that movie once.
And I only had to pay for it once.
Which is even better. Because even 10 years ago, movies were kind of expensive.
Exactly. I don't think Sean asked for any money for the double screening. But the first one was like a raffle kind of thing, John, for the early screening.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it after it was out of theaters a second time. I was trying to remember if I'd seen that one more than once. I've only seen Civil War one.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much everything up until everything after, I would say, Age of Ultron, I've seen probably no more than 3 times. Most of them only twice, and that was in theaters and when I rewatched everything before Endgame. Anything since Endgame, I've really only seen once. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that I don't have cable, so I don't see stuff on TV.
Yeah, that's fair. I've definitely seen same. I've seen up through Ultron, like most of them several times, especially like the original 3 or 4 movies, like Iron Man 1 and 2, Thor, and Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Thor 2 not so much, and Iron Man 3 not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But those first 4 movies definitely more than just 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And Avengers quite a few times.
Oh yeah, I mean I saw Avengers twice on the day it came out.
I definitely saw Avengers twice in theaters, but not on the same day.
I saw so it was the midnight screening, and then I think I took the day off work afterwards, and a buddy of mine hadn't seen it for the midnight screening. I was like, I'll go see it with you. And so we were able to get tickets for like a 4 o'clock screening. and a buddy of ours literally just got out of seeing it like an hour or two prior, and he's like, "I'll go see it again." So he saw it. So that me and him saw it twice in one day, and then that Sunday I went and saw it again with somebody else. So 3 times opening weekend, twice opening day. And then I think I saw it in total 4 times in theaters because I saw it with another group of friends like 2 months later.
Meanwhile, Drew's over here. I've seen a movie before. I'm familiar with motion pictures.
I don't know that I went and saw any of them more than once.
Yeah, I mean, why would you, right?
Right.
Some of them were just like the first Avengers, I want to say, is the only one I saw in the theaters more than once.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went and saw. Around that time, I had multiple groups of friends who would see movies at different times, and so I would end up going to see a couple of movies more than once. Like I saw the second Hunger Games movie twice in theaters, and I think there was like 1 or 2 other movies that I saw multiple times in theaters. But I think one of a lot of the times, like the subsequent time I had seen the movies was at like the $5 matinee nighttime screening.
Yeah, which like those are a good time to go see stuff like that if you've already seen it once.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I mean, at this point, there are just MCU movies I just haven't even seen. Like I still haven't seen Guardians. I think something else came out after Guardians.
The Marvels.
The Marvels. I haven't seen a DC movie since Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 1984 was the last one I saw, but I never watched either of the 2 Shazam movies. And but since Wonder Woman 1984, it's really been technically the Batman, but that's not part of the DCEU.
I wasn't counting that because I've seen I actually saw the Batman twice. That movie was actually like it was an entertaining, good movie because it wasn't the Snyderverse bullshit.
Yeah.
Which sorry, quick aside. Did you guys see the post about Sucker Punch that Zack Snyder made?
No.
Apparently, he's got the footage to fix that movie. He just needs to crowdfund it to be able to afford to do it.
Zack Snyder doesn't have the money to fix a movie? That's strange.
I mean, he's basically trying to do the same thing they did for the Justice League. Like, drum up enough support that, like, somebody actually wants to release it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that wasn't a very good... Like, that was a flashy movie. It was not a good movie.
It wasn't a terrible movie.
Other than the visuals, like, it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
Like I said before, he would be a fantastic cinematographer. The guy's got a great eye for, like, action set piece sort of design. But, like, fucking can't tell a story to save his life.
Wasn't Sucker Punch like what's it called? Wasn't that like a comic first? Isn't that an adaptation?
So. I don't think it was. I mean, Sucker Punch is a video game studio.
Not to be an adaptation. Okay, so no. I thought it was based off of something. But according to Google, it says no.
It seems like it would be. Like that very... Like, I can understand you thinking that was like a comic book property.
Yeah, it was funny. So Sucker Punch came out in 2011. And I think I saw it like 2013, 2014. Or, no, when did I see it? It was, maybe it was like 2012? I don't remember. I was still working at McDonald's when I had watched it. I thought it was an older movie than that. I don't know. But I was still working at McDonald's. And I remember there had been quite an amount of time, at least a year, between the movie's release and me watching it, that like I was talking to somebody, and one of the main characters, Blondie, who is played by Vanessa Hudgens, she dies. She gets killed. And I was talking.
Spoilers.
It's a fucking 13-year-old movie, and that's the point I'm getting to as well. The movie's a year and a half old. And I'm talking to somebody, and somebody happens to walk by as I'm saying, like, yeah, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's a shame Blondie died, though. And the person who wasn't even in the conversation was like, spoilers, come on. I'm like, the movie's been out for 2 years. You can't call spoilers at this point. You can't. This is your fault for not watching it at this point. You can't call spoilers after 2 years.
Yeah, like there is that
There's 100% a statute of limitations for calling spoilers. And in my opinion, if it's something that's released on TV weekly, it's when the next episode comes out. Because at that point, that's your fault for not watching the previous episode. If it's something that airs everything all at once, it's a month. And if it's a movie, It's when it comes out to VOD, because at that point it's on you for not having seen it.
I give things a wider berth than that. Like, if you're talking about it with somebody and you're not like announcing it to the world, that's different. Like,
Well,
that is another person's fault for like listening to your conversation.
Yeah.
But like, I think like the way that people like go about talking about things online, in particular, like posting on like Twitter and Facebook, especially media companies, with headlines that are just straight fucking spoilers. Sometimes before the thing has even released.
Remember the thing I talked about last week about Critical Role? That was spoiled. Oh, yeah. That was spoiled to me 2 hours after, like the next day, from somebody who has no relation to Critical Role, clipping that point and putting it on TikTok and Facebook themselves, or TikTok or YouTube as a short themselves. Literal 12 hours later, which that's fucked up. It's not even available to non-subscribers. You need, if you're going to post stuff like that, you need to give it until the next episode comes out. That's that weekly idea. And that's what Critical Role does. They turned that into a short as well, a week after it aired initially. You give it a week. If you can't watch it within that week, well, then that's kind of on you.
Yeah, I don't agree with. Like, again, I think having a discussion in public and somebody else just listening to your conversation, that's on them, 100%. Like, you shouldn't have to censor you having, like, a conversation with a friend.
Right, yeah.
But, like, I think that people posting online, there's no reason that they can't just be more sensitive to that. Because, like, life happens. Sometimes people can't watch stuff within a week or a month. Like, you know? For instance, like you said, like, you don't have cable. It's not necessarily easy for you to watch television week to week. Sometimes you might have to wait for it to come to like Netflix, like when like the whole season's aired.
Unfortunately, though, everything that's aired on TV is also aired on some sort of streaming service.
I mean, I guess we are close to being in that situation.
For instance, if I were to see right now the Rookie's on hiatus because of the strikes, they weren't able to do the full season, so they were splitting the smaller season up. So they're on hiatus until like mid-May. But say the episode usually airs on Tuesdays, I believe. I watch it on Hulu on Wednesdays. So it's week by week. It's same with a lot of the animes that I watch. It's same with a lot of things that I watch. Like anything that's aired week to week is also put on to a streaming service the very next day. That's why I was like, if it's a week to week thing, if you're talking like an Apple TV show that releases week to week, the MonsterVerse show, Monarch Legacy of Monsters, that was released week to week. If episode 2 comes out, I am allowed to start talking about episode 1.
But like, it also doesn't cost you anything to not make spoilers obvious in like a public forum.
Yes, but also, I hate spoilers. I 100% hate spoilers. But I also agree that there is a statute of limitations to when you can and can't call, hey, spoilers. Like, I could post a spoiler alert if I'm talking about something a week after it comes out. 100% can post a spoiler alert a week after it comes out. But even if you're doing a spoiler alert the day after it comes out, that's kind of messed up. Because sometimes you just can't skip that. But if you wait a week, then you've had a week. A week is a lot of time.
It is and it isn't. But
it
also,
is, man.
Hold on, let me finish, because I agree with you. I mean, if you really are that sensitive to a spoiler for something, there are so many ways to avoid spoilers on whatever thing you're going into, like Twitter, Discord, Facebook, whatever. If you are trying to not be spoiled, it's kind of your fault if you fall into the spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, I've stopped using social media because there are things that I'd rather wait and like sit down when I have time and just watch an entire season of something versus watch it week to week, especially when it's something where like week to week, it's just not like all that like entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it's like, you know, it's telling one big story. I don't want to watch it in chapters. I want to watch it like as I want to watch it.
Right.
I just don't go on to Facebook. So like those like, because like some people are cool and like they'll do like the line breaks until it does the show more. I'm like, cool. I just have to click on those. But a lot of a lot of media companies, like Nerdist was the fucking worst, and now I think it's like CBR is the new bad one about it. Like the day after it comes out, they would just the headline was the spoiler. I'm like, that's not how you do it, guys.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Whereas like Discord, at least like it is literally costs no extra like anything to just throw stuff behind spoiler bars, like 2 vertical bars, spoils it.
Mm-hmm.
People can click on it if they want to. That's where I'm at. Like, if something gets spoiled for me after it's been out for a week, a month, like whatever, it's like that sucks. But like, I'm not going to get mad at the person. I just think that like it doesn't cost anything to give people a heads up, even if it's been out for a little while. I was joking before when I said 10 years. Even like 2 years is like one of those like, all right, like it's been 2 years. Like you can't expect people to tiptoe around it after that long.
Right. I 100% feel you can't expect somebody to tiptoe. If it's a movie that gets a theatrical release, once the movie comes out onto VOD, like why do I have to tiptoe around you now? Why do I have to be careful what I say now that the movie's out on VOD?
Again, you don't have to be careful what you say. I'm just simply saying in like an online world, like just giving a heads up, be like, hey, I'm spoiling such and such.
But why do I have to do that now that the thing is available to wide audiences?
You don't have to. It's just a courtesy.
Why do I need that courtesy? Is what I'm asking, Cobb.
You don't.
Why do I need that courtesy?
You don't. You don't.
Like,
is the answer? Is you
but like,
fucking don't.
What does it cost you to do that? Nothing.
All right. Let's say I'm posting on Twitter. It costs me letters.
Well, stop using Twitter. That thing is burning to the ground anyway.
But at the same time, like, fine. Let's say I'm posting on Threads. It's costing me characters.
What the fuck is Threads?
It's Facebook's answer to Twitter. It's Insta Twitter.
What?
So
Facebook made a Twitter that's tied to your Instagram.
Yeah.
Really?
But I still say the movie is out to wide audiences. The courtesy was me not talking about it until it was out to wide audience. The courtesy, like, why do it's now you're saying, even though you're saying tiptoe until a year after it comes out, tiptoe 6 months after it comes out, but at this point, it's not on me that you haven't seen that movie.
No,
I'm not telling you that you haven't
tiptoe
seen
around it. I actually said after it's been out for 2 years, there's no reason that you should have been tiptoeing around it.
No, but I'm saying in general, like, what I don't think if I'm going to post something, let's use Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for example. That game came out in March, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel with 100 hours of gameplay, I'll give it until May. Once May comes out, I'm talking open about it. 100 hours of gameplay, but minimal 40 hours of gameplay. 3 months. 3 months is more than enough time for you to streamline through that story. To where if I were to sit here and say, here's what I hated about the ending and drop all of that right now. It's been 3 months. Are you if you really want it, and I'm not saying you particular Cobb, I'm saying you as the general stance. If you really cared that much, you would have done that by now.
I mean, I can say I do care. I have not had time to sit down and actually play something on the TV in 3 weeks. Like most the little bit of gameplay I've done has been like while like out on like a Steam Deck, like while we were traveling.
Yes, in the last 3 weeks you haven't had time. You traveled, you went on vacation. But in the next 4 or 5 weeks, are you like if it's something you you want,
like in the next 4 to 5 weeks, like I hope to be done it.
So
I was just saying, like the way you worded it was that you could do it right now.
No, I said through May.
Said May.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said I was giving it 90 days for 100-hour max for a 40-hour video game. Because I understand video games is a lot. Video games is a lot to do. It's a long time to play. It's 40 to 100 hours. I understand that there's a lot of time, but by the end of May, I shouldn't have to post the common courtesy of, oh hey, I'm gonna spoil the end of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for y'all right now. I should be allowed
also, why spoil the end of it, right?
Because the end is the worst fucking part.
But also at that point, like, why even still talk about it if you've done it for 2 months?
Because I'm mad about it. I'm mad about stuff that they did at the end, and I want to get my point out across.
Post about it. It's been long enough. It's been a month and a half.
But
Post about it.
No, I'm not gonna. at this point, I'm not going to post. I'm probably not going to post about it at all. It was just a general example. Like I could do the same about Baldur's Gate and why I was so upset about the end of Baldur's Gate.
I feel like Baldur's Gate's a weird one too because it's one of the like. Is the ending the same no matter how you play it?
For the most part,
Okay.
it's variable depending on certain choices you made, but for the most part, yeah, that's probably about the same.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Like, you know how like some games like have like that false sense of choice where like,
well, so
like,
all right, technically, there's three different endings. There's several different endings, but there's three prime endings. Prime ending number one is you ended at the end of chapter 2 when you have the main character blow up, or not the main character, but one of the main characters blow up, and then prime ending 2 and 3 are dependent on your choices of what you do before you go fight the final boss. Do you take over being the thing, or do you have somebody else become the thing? That's
okay, so there's not really a whole like your choices throughout the game don't make that big of a difference on the final outcome.
No, and like even for instance, Karlach, she goes through. You find out through the whole game, like, oh, she's eventually going to burn up because of her engine. After you beat the final boss, they give you that choice of what to do with her.
So, who is that?
Karlach. She's the barbarian Dami Mommy lady that everyone loves.
She's the green one that you meet on the ship?
No, she's the one that's on fire.
I never saw her.
You've barely played the game.
Yeah.
But no, like she has this infernal engine in her, and she's going to blow up unless she returns to Inverness, whatever it is, the Hells. You get that option after you beat the game. She plot armor. She doesn't blow up until you beat the game because they want you to keep that character until you beat the game, and then you have a choice, and you get to make that choice. And the ending is the ending for her is slightly different. That's the thing. Like each character's ending is based on quests completed and events you do, but for the most part, the ending itself is generally you're always going to go after the same big bad. You're always going to end up defeating the same big bad.
Okay.
It's just
yeah. I wasn't sure because like there's a whole lot going on in the beginning of that game about like getting the thing out of your head and all. And there's so many options it gives you on like how you can do that and like different things you can do that would infect different groups of people that I didn't know if it was one of those games where you could do that stuff throughout the game and it had zero impact on the end of the game, or if it actually had a larger impact. It sounds like it's on the smaller side.
It has zero impact. It's specifically when it comes to taking the thing out of your head, it has zero impact because you can't. All of the discussions you have with other characters about removing the thing from your head, you can't. It just won't happen.
That's good.
Yeah.
Bravo.
It's just it's plot armor because you need the thing in your head in order to get to the end of the game to make that big choice of whether or not you're going to become the Mind Flayer, you're going to have somebody else become the Mind Flayer. That's all. That's all the decision is. And like there's times where like the game, because of dice rolls, forces decisions where it's a decision I didn't want to make, but well, I couldn't roll 30 wisdom because I'm not a very wise character. And I need a natural 20 to get a 30 wisdom. So I had to do the thing that I didn't want to do. And then it's like, oh, well, at this point, might as well just completely do the thing. And it's just, yeah, there are choices hidden behind necessity in that game. There are fake choices and 100% fake choices. Any time it gives you the choice to try to remove the little worm thing. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, it won't work. Oh, this is going to kill you, so we can't do it. Oh, the thing blows up. Like, just, yeah. There's no real choices in a lot of that game.
Well, that sounds like a video game.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rich, what's on the agenda?
On the agenda, Droo went and saw a play on Broadway. Cobb went and saw a movie probably not at a theater, probably just at home.
No, this is actually in the theater. It's an anime movie, though, so it's okay.
Cobb went and saw a movie in a theater, and Droo saw Sweeney Todd. Cobb watched Spy X Family Code White, not Code of White, and I played a video game in my home on a live stream, and it was Poppy Playtime Chapter 3. That's this week.
No, there's still other stuff on there.
Oh, and something about Penny's Big Break, which I think that's not even the right name, isn't Penny's Big Breakaway, because I was looking it up to be like, what the fuck is that?
Did I misspell the name?
You just wrote Big Break, and when I looked it up, it's Penny's Big
Oh yeah,
Breakaway.
I think I typed it while I was half asleep last night. So
so Cobb played Penny's Big Breakaway and the Stellar Blade demo. I mean, I could also talk about I'm like a savant at Fortnite, but no, we can talk about that when time comes, if we have time.
Really, Fortnite?
I'll explain if we get to it, if we have time.
So, Drew, how was Sweeney Todd?
It was fucking fantastic, honestly. So kind of the whole reason we wanted to go up to New York was the Dominic Ansel Bakery Cronuts for this month. And like I was going to just order them, and Sarah was like, well, we haven't gone to New York in forever, so why don't we go up? And so instead of just getting a bunch delivered, we decided to go up. And we weren't like dead set on any one particular show. So we went to the TKTS booth in Times Square, where you can get like really discounted tickets.
Oh yeah, that thing like behind like those like weird like seats, right?
Yeah, exactly. The thing said they were 50% off. They were more like 75% off.
Nice.
So we got 2 tickets, center orchestra in the 8th row for $200. When I went and looked on Ticketmaster for those same tickets for like the next day's show, they were $400 a piece.
They're basically just trying to fill the show before it starts, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So like you don't know what shows are going to have at the booth and if it sells out and whatnot. But since we weren't super dead set on any one show, like Sweeney Todd was our number one choice, but we had like 3 or 4 other backups that we were totally fine seeing if they didn't have that.
Out of curiosity, just because I've never actually, I know of that booth, but I've never gone up to it. Like, do they tell you like the seats and all ahead of time, or is it like a blind buy?
No, it's pretty much a blind buy. Some look like they have like multiple different price ranges for the show, so you could get different seats in the theater depending how much you want to pay. Like I think we could have even paid less and gotten balcony seats, which actually based on how that theater was and how far the balcony went forward wouldn't have been that bad. But it was only a like $20 difference, so I was like, I'll just get the $110 tickets. I don't care.
Yeah.
And yeah, they wound up being 8th row right in the center, so can't really beat that. And then the show was fantastic. Sad we had missed Josh Groban being Sweeney Todd, but I forget the guy's name who was playing him. He was really good. I should probably look up the woman's name who was playing like the female lead, but she played Shrek or Fiona in Shrek the Musical, and
Nice.
She was hilarious. But yeah, really cool, really fun, like way funnier than I expected it to be.
I've only ever seen the movie, like the Tim Burton movie.
I've never even seen the movie, so
movie was fun.
I tried to watch the movie once and fell asleep.
Yeah, it's not surprised.
I mean, the movie's Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. Like those two just work well together. But
yeah, I think it was more I was just really fucking tired. But like I fell asleep. I don't know if I was bored about it or not. I think I was just really tired. And at one point it was like halfway, or it was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes into the movie, and the next point the credits are rolling. And like, oh, I fell asleep.
Whoops.
Aaron Tveit is Sweeney Todd, and Sutton Foster is the female lead, Mrs. Lovett. She runs the pie shop.
She makes the meat pies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The stage is cool. They have, like the barber chair that turns like just slides the people down.
Is it like a 2-level like set where like the barber shop is above? So like there's like a slide that goes down below, or do they do it some other way?
Yeah, no, it's 2-level. And like probably almost all Broadway shows at this point, lots of moving parts to the set. So like the top level where the barbershop would be also was like where his daughter was being kept by the judge. So that would like raise up a little bit, and then that would be, they'd move stuff around, and that would be the set for her being like locked in her room. This one big tower, so that also had the stairwell that would go up, would kind of turn, and that would be had like the back of the slide, and also had the like mental institution served as that, and actually had like a little working crane on it for when they did finally put the like actual barber chair up in Sweeney Todd's barber shop. So that was
that's
cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah, it was a real cool set.
Yeah, I've never actually seen a Broadway show, so
Yeah, there's lots of moving parts on a lot of the sets that are usually pretty interesting.
yeah, that like even at like $110, like that's just a lot of money, and we're usually like in New York doing other stuff. So like to fit like a 2-hour show in for that much money is like, but like we're here for like these 3 other things.
Right. Yeah. So, they are expensive, but that's, like I said, it was $200 instead of $800.
Oh yeah,
So-
like because like I have looked before at like I can't remember what it was. It was like something silly. I'm like, oh, I wonder how much tickets for this. Oh, I think it might have been Harry Potter years ago, and yeah, it was like $700 for like shitty balcony seats. And I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm not spending $1,400 for this. I'll fucking watch like a bootleg off of YouTube.
Mhm.
But like I get it. Like actually I don't, because from what I hear, like the Broadway actors aren't paid all that well.
I don't know.
Like where's all this money going?
Rent, probably.
Yeah,
that's 100.
Yeah.
100%. It's rent. It's way too expensive to do anything in New York anymore. So
Rent, and probably like the people in charge of the show.
Mhm.
Because I feel like some of those theaters probably like they've been around so long that they might own their plot of land.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But like, I'm sure like the producers and stuff like that are probably making bank on them, and the actors are barely making minimum wage.
I mean, I have no idea.
I've always got like, it always seems like Broadway actors, like they're doing it more because they love doing it, not because it's a great way to make money.
Mhm.
Unless they're like the stars, like the ones that are just constantly like the headline for the show.
Right.
I mean, according to Backstage.com, the average Broadway salary for non-celebrity actors is between $45,000 and $220,000 a year.
Wow.
So 45 is more than what I make.
So poverty wages in New York City, though.
But yeah, it's barely livable at 45. But 220 is average for everyone else. Like is average rent and that you still need 3 roommates at $220,000 a year.
You need 3 roommates, and you have to live on Long Island.
But it averages, or generally it's about $2,000 a week or something like that, from what I was seeing.
Okay, that's actually more than I thought.
The current minimum salary for an equity performer on Broadway is $2,439 a week. The figure can increase depending on particular demands of any given track. Chase, come on, move. Let's go. Chase, move. Come on, Chase, let's go. Fucking dog. I don't know why you have to lay there. Last night you freaking almost bit me because I touched you while you were there. He doesn't like being touched when he's asleep, and he sleeps right where my feet are.
He both wants to be close to you, but also doesn't want to be disturbed.
Yeah, and so like last night, I accidentally like touched his paw or something. I don't know if he actually went to bite me, but he snapped up. Like he jolted up when it happened, and I'm like, you can't lay there anymore. It's
got to put a little gate around your desk.
Yeah, well,
but
just need more space in my house.
Yeah, I mean that too. So, Drew, are you guys going to go see the Back to the Future musical?
Nope.
Why not?
Because I don't care.
Oh, but it looks like it will be fun.
It probably is.
I think that one's like a jukebox musical too.
That would make sense.
Yeah, you should go see it. Report back, because I'm not going to.
I wish I could go see more plays.
I mean, you can. You just
I can't. I literally can't. $220 for 2 tickets is too expensive.
Well, it's only $110 for one.
Yeah, but then it's also going to New York.
They are actually cheaper in Philly. Like when they like do their tours.
I know, but it's also not generally the same actors that you see on Broadway.
Oh yeah, no. Usually it's like the touring company or whatnot.
Yeah,
which they're still good.
Not to say not to diminish their talent or anything else. It's just it's not Broadway. But like I don't get to go see. I literally cannot afford to do stuff anymore. So
yeah, no, that is America.
Yeah.
Move to Japan. you can do whatever you want there.
Mm,
The dollar is worth like double almost.
yeah, but also, how much money do you actually make in Japan?
Well, no, keep your current job since you do it remote anyway.
That means I'd have to work overnight. They would not accompany me to work because also a lot of stuff changes overnight and there's a lot of system changes overnight, so I would not be able to work overnight. I would have to wait until the system changes are done before I can actually do work. So I'd either have to get done before, let's say, 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, or I'd have to start after 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time.
I think you could pull that off.
No. And no.
Also, I mean, if you were starting at, well, that would be like 1 noon or 1 p.m. in Japan if you're starting at 1 a.m. Eastern time. Like,
but
they're 13 and 14 hours ahead depending on daylight savings.
Yeah.
And then that also means I'd be working till 9 o'clock at night every night.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to do anything because not because he doesn't have any money, but now he'd have all the money but not ever be able to do anything because his life is he starts work at 7 p.m. and works till 4 in the morning, like 6 in the morning, and then sleeps all day.
But he'd have a really nice house and could order all the sushi he wants.
Yeah, I'm fine. You shouldn't eat that much raw fish.
Well, I said all that you want, not every day.
I mean, I already eat all that I want, like once every couple of weeks, so.
There you go. See, you could do it once every couple of weeks. It'd be great.
Then I can't go out to eat anywhere else.
No, you're right, because everything closes in Tokyo at like 9 o'clock. It's wild.
While he's working.
Yeah. Like, it is actually crazy how early stuff closes in a major city over there. Like, they officially close at like 10:30, but the last seating is at like 9 o'clock because they don't fuck around the way they do in America.
Sunday, I wanted to order from La Tension, which closes at 4 in the afternoon on Sundays, and it was 4:02 when I went to go order. I was so mad.
I've had that happen, or there's been a few times. I think they are closed on Mondays.
They're always, Monday is. I generally always want to order food either on like Mondays. Sundays and Mondays are generally the days I really want to order food, but it tends to now be Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays for Taco Tuesdays, and I order from La Tension, and then Thursdays are generally just bad days when it comes to work, that are where I'm like, I need to order a pizza, I need to order this, and just eat it. So yeah.
There are many times where like Monday comes up and I'm just like, oh, we should order like Mexican, and they're the first one I go to, and I'm like, right, it's Monday, they're not fucking open.
Yeah.
So there's another place, Avocado. It's down on Black Horse Pike in like Runnymede. They're not as good, but like they have a couple things on their menu that are good. Yeah. And they're generally quick, and the delivery is usually pretty fast.
There's a Mexican near you guys that I ordered from once.
Where?
I don't know. Continue having other conversations. I'll find it.
Drew, anything else you want to say about Sweeney Todd?
No, I'd say go see it, but it closes on May 5th. So.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, that's part of why it was at the top of our list, was it's closing. So
that's kind of like, you guys have that happen a lot, right? Because didn't you just get to Beetlejuice like the week before it closed?
Yeah, something like that. But also, again, it was we heard it's closing. Oh, Alex Brightman's back as Beetlejuice. Oh, I have $500 free on SeatGeek. Let's buy tickets to go see fucking Beetlejuice with Alex Brightman before it closes.
Which, valid reasons.
Yep.
Well, I guess then I, over the weekend, went and saw the Spy Family movie, Code White, which was delightful. So, much like most anime movies, it's not really, it's not canon. Like, nothing that happens in it is going to ever be brought up again. But it kind of took all the bits and pieces of the series that are kind of like, are the most charming parts of it, and kind of just condensed it into a movie. So usually if you're watching it or reading it, there's like, there'll be a story arc that focuses mostly on like something at like the school with Anya. And then there'll be like an arc that focuses on like Lloyd having to do like a spy mission. And then there'll be an arc that focuses on Yor having to like do some sort of assassination thing. And in between there's like slice of life stuff happening to them the whole time. This kind of just like took all that stuff and like, here's 2 hours like put together and like told a reasonably cohesive story where Anya had a school project where they had to make desserts in school, and Lloyd, being the spy, knows that the headmaster that was going to be judging it loves a specific dessert from like another country. So they're just like, all right, well, for this weekend, we're going to take a trip to this other country. And as they're doing that, they just kind of hijinks ensue. Anya accidentally eats a chocolate that was not meant for her, that has something in it. And then the bad guys are trying to kidnap her throughout the movie. And it's Yor and Lloyd are basically doing what they do, but making sure the other one doesn't say it because they don't know about each other. And it actually worked out okay as a movie that you didn't necessarily have to know the series to watch the movie. Because like the first 3 minutes, they give you like a quick rundown, like here are your three main characters. Here is what is going on. And then just off to the races with it. And it had about a 10-minute poop joke, which was just fucking hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah, like they really went all out on their animation budget for a poop joke.
Nice.
Yeah. Basically, the bad guys are waiting for Anya to pass the thing that she ate, and she literally like has like an hallucination about like the god of poop, who is just like some creepy old man in a robe, that flies with by farting rainbows, like coming to her. It was very fucking weird, but like very funny too. And yeah, some really good action sequences. Like the animation that the show looks pretty good. But like the show also never leans into like long action sequences. The closest thing you get are occasionally like there's one arc in the show where Lloyd has to go undercover as like a tennis pro. So like the tennis scenes are actually really well animated, but they tend to not have like long drawn out fights in the show because that's just not what the story is. But in this, like, they actually had some like longer action sequences that were just really well animated and were a lot of fun to watch. And it was fun seeing how every time like they ended up in like a situation where somebody should have caught on to something, they just immediately have an excuse. And it's usually Lloyd with like some excuse as to like why a thing is happening the way it's happening. As they're literally on an airship at one point. That has been abandoned by everyone, like the whole like insurgent military corp that had like commandeered it. It is on fire. It is getting ready to crash into a city. And Lloyd's just like, well, in college I took a piloting lesson, so I can probably fly this thing and get us clear of the city. And and they just go along with it because they know that they also can't tell him what their secret ability things are. And it's stupid, but it works. And then like no one ever comes around and like asks questions about it later. But Rich, you haven't watched that at all yet, right?
No, I have not watched it. Also, I think it used to be a Mexican place. It's now Vitali's Italian Bistro in Gloucester City.
Are you thinking of Jalapeno?
Maybe, yeah.
Like jalapeno, because there were two jalapenos in Brooklyn. There was the pizza place, like literally at the end of my street, right next to the liquor store. Mm-hmm. And then
it was like a bar in Gloucester City. It was like on that street that Vitali's is. Yeah.
I don't think we ever ordered from there actually.
I ordered from there once. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, we ordered from the one up the street a couple times. That place sucked. Though the new owners, they're actually like new owners and new staff. It's actually pretty good.
Nice.
Because the last couple times they like sold and like rebranded, they just kept the same staff and they were bad at their jobs. Like whenever they renamed, we would give them another shot. And like every time the food was just bad. Like I got a burger and fries once. The burger was fucking cold and the fries were soggy. Mm-hmm. And it's like, they're literally 4 minutes away.
Yeah. But Spy, no, I have not watched Spy Family. I've not watched a lot of stuff that I want to watch lately. I've been spending a lot of time doing fucking video editing. Finally caught up. That might be able to like
catching up.
Yeah, might be able to actually like do other stuff. Yeah, playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as much as I did really messed up my scheduling.
I can understand that. But I would say like I don't know if Spy Family is on anything that you have, but if it is, it's like a great like put on like the dub and like watch it while you're doing stuff like around the house or something. Because like it's not super deep. Like you don't have to be like dialed into it like 100%. But it's like it's a real chill, funny show.
Yeah,
And
I can't do that. If it's a show I've never seen before, I can't put it on in the background. I need to watch it.
oh, you and your requirements.
If I'm not going to watch it, I'm not going to put it on.
Well, then watch it. Just
Yeah.
sit down and focus on it. It's delightful. You'll enjoy it. It manages to be very wholesome while also having like people should be dying. Like with the way that people are like hit and stuff like that, there's very little doubt that they are either dead or permanently disabled.
Mm-hmm.
But like everything's happy at the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good little movie. I'm glad that I realized it was in theaters and was able to grab tickets for it a while ago.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, so the reason I asked if we could switch days in 2 weeks, I'm going to go see the Gundam Seed movie, one of the 2 nights that it's available.
Nice.
Fun.
It's going to be so bad. Like that was not a good show, but they've been working on this movie for like 15 fucking years.
Damn.
I am just morbidly curious to see what the fuck they did, because it's supposed to be post the second season. But yeah, like they've been working on it since like 2008 or something like that, like off and on. I'm like, that show wasn't that fucking deep. I don't know why it took them that long to get a movie to work, but it did, and I need to go see what the fuck's going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, on the 8th, I'm gonna go see what the fuck that's all about. Unfortunately, nice. I was gonna try and go Tuesday, but it's the sub, and I don't want to sit in a 2-hour movie reading subtitles. That's just, I'm gonna end up falling asleep because I have work that day too. So Wednesday was the only day that they were showing the dub, and it's only at 7:00 at night. It's like one of those, like, Spy Family actually had like a bunch of showings. Like it was playing all weekend, like 3 or 4 times at like every theater. Gundam's like Tuesday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. at like 4 theaters.
Yeah, they're trying. They're trying to fill seats when there's no seats, when there's nothing to fill seats with. Because first of all, there's not a lot of movies out right now because of all the strikes. So they're just trying to find ways to fill seats.
Yeah, I just think it's funny how few showings this gets. Where like in the last couple of years, like anime movies have been getting like decent showings in the U.S. Usually like good weekend spots, like running a couple times on like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like throughout the day. Usually not in like the smallest, shittiest theater either. Like we had, I think it was the early showing on Sunday for the dub of Spy Family, and like the theater was honestly empty, but it was one of the nicer theaters at Cinemark.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, it was one of the smaller nice ones, so it's not like it wasn't like the super shitty small ones.
Yeah.
But I think there were maybe 12 people in the whole theater, including us, which was great.
It was an early show, but I mean, usually kids go to the early showing. So.
Early showing, this was like 1:40 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like a lot of most of the time with the anime movies, like the crowds are there because they're actually fans of it. They're not there just killing time. So like those crowds are usually the best ones to see movies with, because they're just excited when things happen.
Yeah.
Like when we all went and saw the Dragon Ball movie like a decade ago.
Yeah, that was great.
Like that was just a theater full of people excited to see the Dragon Ball movie, not like
that was also the first bit of Dragon Ball we've seen in 10 years or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think, because that was the Frieza movie, and I don't think they put Battle of the Gods out in theaters here.
No, was it the Frieza movie or was it Battle of Gods?
No, it was the Frieza movie.
Okay.
So I watched Battle of the Gods right before it because I had never watched it.
Yeah. I don't know if they released the Battle of the Gods in theaters. I can't remember, but I
feel like they might not have.
But yeah, it was even before they had Dragon Ball Super. Like they didn't even do Super.
It was still called Dragon Ball Z, like Resurrection F or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spy Family, Code White. It's worth going to see if you enjoy that series. If you don't like that show, like don't go see the movie because you're gonna fucking hate the movie.
Yeah, obviously, if you don't like the series, you're not gonna like the movie.
Well, I know people that don't love Dragon Ball, but they like the movies because the movies are just condensed fights, basically.
Yeah, I guess.
It's stupid. Like those people are dumb, but they exist. But like this is just a 2-hour episode, basically, with like all the fixings.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog even gets to play a major part.
Nice.
Everyone likes Bond. He's just a big fluffy dog.
Oh.
And he can see the future. He sees the future, and then Anya reads his mind.
Oh, buddies.
Yeah, it's great. So Rich, what did you think of Chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime?
They really upped the game in this one. Poppy Playtime is one of those mascot horror games that have been coming out over the past years, like Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff like that.
Was it just last week you talked about this, or was it the week before?
It was a while ago that I talked about Playtime 1 and 2.
Was it a while? I can't keep track of things anymore.
It was last month that I talked about.
Was it really that long ago?
Yeah, it was. It's been basically a month since I played it the first time.
Jesus.
But I mean, it probably feels less for you because you were away for an entire week on vacation, so time flies.
April 4th was the episode that you talked about it. So yeah, almost a month, 20 days.
Yeah. I played it a little bit because it was like one of the last games I played.
Oh, that makes sense. It was like the end of March that you played it, and then
I think we also recorded weird. So my Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Chapter 1 and 2 ended up being recorded on a Wednesday, or streamed on a Wednesday, because I think we recorded on that Tuesday. And so that I had a bunch to come into the 4th with, because
I think you're right.
I think that's what happened. So yeah, they I can't remember what I said. They did the game such good justice. In my opinion, it's the best chapter of the 3. There's a lot of explanations of what's going on. They build up the big bad for the finale, which I'm assuming is going to be the next game, Chapter 4. They up the horror quite a bit. So Chapter 1 is like a half hour long. It's a free game to play to see if you're interested in the story. You can play it multiple times and like try to find all like the books or the videos or whatever to get the whole story. But it's generally just running from a monster. Like that's the scary part. It gets tense when you're trying to run from a monster. Chapter 2 was like there's a lot more like game to the game. There's like puzzles and things like that to solve and figure out. But in the end, again, like there weren't really for me too many jump scares. But I find atmosphere more scary than creatures and monsters, and these games do really good atmosphere. But like there's not like too many jump scares. In this one, like it got me quite a few times with the jump scares. The worst enemy that I encountered was the teacher at the school, who is a weeping angel, basically, and those things always scare me. So if you turn around and run and turn back, she like finishes her step and then stops, or like she will creep around the corner.
Why it's got to be a weeping angel? Why can't it be a boo?
It's because the weeping angel's better. Weeping angel's scarier. Boos aren't scary.
That's fair. No, you know what though? Mario 64, when fucking King Boo pops out of the fucking wall the first time in like the basement, that shit is terrifying.
Right? Maybe to child. I also have never experienced that.
Oh, really?
I've never played Mario 6. I've played Mario 64. I've never gotten beyond like the first or second world of Mario 64.
For some reason I thought you had, because you got the 3D collection, right?
Yeah, I got that for fucking Galaxy and Sunshine.
Oh, I thought you played a bunch of
I haven't played through them all. I only played through mostly Sunshine on that. But yeah, so there's like she's the weeping angel. You have to stare at her. That always freaks me out. That stuff is always scary because it's like you have to rush to try to figure out what you need to do or where you need to go, but also you need to stare at her, so you can't look away. And she doesn't particularly move fast, but she doesn't particularly move slow either. Like she moves at a pace that is intimidating. And there was one point where I was just trying to circle around her to get just by her, and like I guess I inched myself a little too close to her to where even if I was staring at her, she still got me, and it just a jump scare. Like I threw my mouse. I was like, holy fuck. The atmosphere of the game and the lore of the game is very interesting. Graphically, they made it look a lot better. They added a few new interesting mechanics with different. So in this game, you get like hands that you can use. And they're like, you have a machine on your back that shoots a hand, and it's like a long distance grabber and stuff like that. The one thing one complaint, which then brought into another complaint, is the fact that you can only change your left or your right hand. So your left hand is always blue. Your right hand can be green, purple, or orange. But they can each only do specific things. And so the green hand, for instance, can grab onto electrical things and hold electricity onto itself, and then put electricity onto other things. The purple hand can, if you're at a purple platform, can push you up and basically make you jump higher. And the orange hand just shoots flares. It's not really anything special. The final boss was this whole sequence where you have to charge something up. And when you're charging it up, as it charges up, you have to take batteries from things that are protecting you, and then you have to add energy to the things that are protecting you while the last boss is like coming closer to you, and you gotta keep it away. The problem is, for me at least, there were times where I had to go to the left side of the room. In order to get to the left side of the room, I have to jump over or jump onto a platform with the purple hand, then switch to the green hand, turn around, grab energy, turn over, and put energy onto a thing to do the thing that needs to be done. But since you can only change the hands of the right hand, I couldn't like have the green hand primed and then jump with the purple hand and then throw the thing. You had to just constantly do the change, and it's not like you could change with the mouse wheel, but like you might scroll too fast and then you'll miss what you're trying to change to. And there's no other quick change besides hitting the number keys. So if you're using WSA and D to move, and then you have to like basically take your hand away from WSA and D to hit the number key that you need to jump to, then go back to it. It's meant to be chaotic and hectic, but it's just like it was a little rough. I wish there was like a quick change to where like if I hit Q or something like that, it would change me to the last weapon I had, or it would just a quick cycle with Q. So like if I had the purple, I hit Q twice, it goes to the blue. Hit Q once, it goes to the purple, because it would like cycle on Q, like from purple to orange to green, then from green to purple, then purple to orange, green again. Like that would be. It's just a minor complaint. It's not like a major complaint. It's just I scroll fast when it comes to these games, and so I have a tendency to skip the weapon I'm trying to scroll to a lot.
When you're doing like a scroll sort of thing for weapons, it can be it's easy to like overshoot that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't make it. It's not too terrible with the fact that there's only 3 things you can scroll between, but it's still like, oh, I meant to go, or like I if you scroll down, you're gonna go to purple, you're gonna go to orange, and like yes, it's changed to orange and then changed to purple. Like you might have meant to scroll up, but you accidentally scroll down because you might just naturally always scroll down. So then it takes longer, and you have to. It's more to scroll to get to the color you want, rather than for me like hitting Q twice would be a lot faster than scrolling enough times to get to the thing. Like it was just. I was like, I wish I could have changed both hands. I wish like the blue and green hand were on left and the purple and orange green were on right, or something like that. Or I could change and have purple and orange at the same time, or purple and green at the same time. But then that would have made that sequence a little too easy. But yeah, it's a fun game. It's if you like these kinds of mascot horror games, they're fun. It took me about 4 hours to beat it. It's $15 on Steam, so like probably better just to wait for it to be on sale. But if you like these sorts of horror games, these mascot horror games, this is a good one. This is a good one. It's an interesting one. I still don't really know any of the lore behind it, so I want to like.
So how many chapters is it? Is this it, or is there more?
I'm assuming there's going to be a 4th, but
it's not out yet.
No, 3rd one just came out last month or in February. Yeah, like chapter 3 just came out, so I'm not expecting chapter 4 until next year at the earliest. I don't know if they've like announced when chapter 4 is coming out. I'm assuming chapter 4 is going to be the finale, but who knows?
I sure don't.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah. Now I have to figure out a new spooky game to play because I'm all out of Poppy games. So might just stick with some Dead by Daylight for a few months since I'm only playing spooky games once a month. I don't want to pick a game that's going to take multiple streams.
What about just like going into Steam under like Poppy Playtime and like clicking on like games similar?
Well, I mean that would be like what's it called? Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff like that.
There you go.
Which is like what I could do.
There's like
but
30 of those. You'll never run out.
Yeah, I mean the more popular ones are the ones that are just primarily just mini games. They're like a set of like 5 different games in it or something like that.
Okay.
Like that's an option. I don't know where to start when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's because, like you said, there's which first one? There's like 30 first ones.
Is there?
Well, like they're not numbered.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nights. Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at what is it? Nights or Nights?
Five Nights at Freddy's. Some of them are numbered.
Well, yeah, like there's
some of them aren't.
FNAF, and then there's 2. There's Five Nights. There's Five Nights 2. There's 5. I'm sure there's a third. Yeah, third and a fourth. But then there's just like all the spin-offs that are still part of the core Freddy's. Security Breach is the new. I'd say new, but it's 2021 is when it came out.
Yeah, dude, there have been like 7 games since that one.
Yeah, there's a lot that like mascot horror is big. People love mascot horror.
We grew up being force-fed fucking Chuck E. Cheese commercials.
Exactly, Chuck E. Cheese,
fucking McDonald's and all that shit. Like
Chuck E. Cheese, McDonald's, these weird toys, friggin' what's it called? Like Muppets and all that. Like it's basically in our blood to find ways to make those scary.
But yeah, I mean, I have to imagine that like the first couple of Five Nights at Freddy's games are probably pretty cheap.
Yeah, I was looking. It's like $5 for the first one or something like that.
There you go.
But
dive into Five Nights at Freddy's. Become a mascot horror streamer for once a month.
So I mean, the horror games come in once a month based on subs. So I got 10 subs. So there will be a horror game next month. I don't stick to strictly just horror games, and that's why I want to try to find games that tend to be like single stream games, but also at the same like it's $5 to $15 a month isn't breaking my bank, but it's still like kind of want to not spend too much money right now. But
yeah, that's valid. That's why I said like of all the games, those are probably fairly cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I own Dead by Daylight, so I could do Dead by Daylight. I'm sure there's a few games on the Epic Store that I have that are horror games that might be able to work.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about Poppy Playtime?
No, I liked it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Thanks.
So I played 2 things. And I'm going to start with the one I played less of, which is Stellar Blade, the demo. So that's the game that Sony kept showing off over the last like year and a half, 2 years with like the anime girl with the swords and the alien monsters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every other trailer for that game, it looked like it could have been a cool game. And then the opposing trailers made it look like it was just going to be like kind of smutty trash.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure after playing just a few minutes of probably like 15, 20 minutes of the demo, it's probably going to like lean harder on the smutty trash. And I'm assuming it's $70. Can't see that game being worth $70 except for a very, very specific audience.
Right.
Because like honestly, like the game didn't feel that great. It wasn't the worst, but like the combat wasn't especially good, and the tutorial was way too quick. Like it was flashing up what to do on the screen for less than 5 seconds. Like I didn't even have time to actually read the full line before the dialogue stuff was gone, and I just had to run up to an enemy and hope I was hitting the right button. So like yeah, just not a great feeling game.
It's got 4.8 on PlayStation.
Well, it's not out yet.
It's got a 4.8, 13.3 thousand reviews.
Yep, that's interesting because it comes out in like 3 days.
Well, there's a demo out that everyone has played.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They do let you rate it off of demos, don't they?
I guess so. Like that's PlayStation.com has it with a 4.8.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Like it doesn't seem like it's going to have all that much going on. It seems like it's very much going to be a game of spectacle, mostly with like women wearing skin tight outfits. Because that's how the game opens. You see a bunch of women wearing skin tight outfits. But like assuming maybe even like later in the demo more stuff opens up. Because even just the combat doesn't have like a good dodge, at least like when you start out. You have kind of like a weak little like you kind of skip to the side. but it's not good for kind of like maneuvering around enemies or anything like that. So like maybe the game has like a deeper combat that opens up that you can customize a little bit more as the game goes on.
Did you finish the demo?
No, I literally just said I only got to play like 15, 20 minutes of it.
Then you didn't play the game, man.
I never said I played the game.
You said you played the game. It's on here. You played the demo.
I literally just said I played 15 minutes of it.
Then you don't know anything about it.
I mean, I know enough to be able to talk about the 15 minutes I played.
You don't know anything about it.
I'm not rating it. I'm simply giving you my first impressions of it. Yeah, I don't know. Like it didn't really feel all that good to play. Like you didn't move real quick. You didn't like it's 2-button attacks, which that's pretty standard. You have like a special ability you can do when you fill up like a little gauge, which also seems pretty standard. A bunch of buttons didn't do anything yet, so I'm assuming it's one of those. The game has to tell you can do a thing before you can do a thing. I looked around through like the menus a little bit. There's like character loadout options and stuff like that. So I'm assuming there'll be upgrades and different armors and stuff like that you'll be able to get for the character. Based on the visuals and some of like the early reporting I saw, I wouldn't be surprised if the armor is like not doesn't actually make a visual change to your character, because it seems like a lot of stuff coming out this game was leaning very much into the sexualness of it, and I forget where it was. It might have been Australia. I think it's Australia that the game maybe got banned, or if not banned, it got like an adults only rating or something like that. It might not have been Australia either. But yeah, somewhere it got like, again, it's either not allowed to be released or got like an adults only rating just based on the visuals of the game, which, to each their own. I'm probably going to, because I downloaded it, I'm going to finish the demo when I have a chance, maybe tomorrow or Friday. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of looked like it might have been closer to, what was that? I think you played it too, Rich. What was that game where you could pick like the male or the female at the beginning, and they were like a cop sort of thing fighting like weird constructs in like a future like Tokyo?
Oh, are you talking Astral Chain? Which I've never gotten.
No, I played Astral Chain. I really liked that one. You had like weird spirit Digimon animals fighting with you. There was the other one. The color palette was red and white. I thought you played it. It was like an Xbox game. Fuck.
I don't know.
Scarlet Nexus.
Oh yeah. I played the demo. I never actually got around to playing it. I think it was available on Game Pass. But I owned it too.
I thought you played it for some reason.
It was there. Consistently, people wanted me to play it on stream, but then other things came up that I kept pushing it back, and now it's not available on Game Pass. But I do own it on Steam. I just never got around to playing it.
Yeah, so I thought it was going to be more in the line of like that or Astral Chain. As far as like kind of that platinum game style combat, or even like Bayonetta. And it doesn't have that sort of speed to it. Like the combat's a little more not sluggish, but it seems like it's a little bit more of like a brute force combat. Like you're not really meant to like dip in and dip out. You're kind of just meant to get in there and hack away and block when you see the enemy getting ready to attack. Because there was a notice, like the one time that the thing stayed up on the screen for a while was telling you that like you get a stun if you get a perfect block, which also like that's pretty common. And at least those early enemies they telegraphed their attacks pretty fucking big. So getting those perfect blocks wasn't too bad. I can only imagine that once you're through like the initial areas of the demo, like that timing gets a little tighter and the enemies don't telegraph things quite as much.
The IGN article compares the combat to Sekiro.
Oh, okay.
Which just watching
that makes a little bit more sense for like the kind of the, again, it not being like that Platinum Games like fast jumpy around action. It's definitely more of a, you just have to get in there and just fucking fight.
I don't remember this game when it comes to trailers and whatnot, but I never got the idea of it being similar to Platinum Games. If anything, Sekiro like seems more right, like the Soulsborne style type stuff. Like,
so the couple of trailers when the game looked good definitely looked like a more action adventure, like Platinum style combat, less of that. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Like
Soulsborne.
Well,
Soulsborne.
I was trying to give it like a different. I was trying to use a different word, but yeah, like not like Soulsborne, like very deliberate is the word I was looking for. Like deliberate combat, where you kind of have to go in and like focus on a thing.
Mhm.
Because like when you're playing like Platinum games or like the Bandai Namco action platform sort of games, like character action games, a lot of times they are kind of more of a you have like a level of speed to both your character and your attacks that you can kind of like you can play different ways depending on how you want to play. This one definitely seems like it's going to be geared more towards apparently Sekiro, which I never played, so I would have never put that together. And it hadn't really gotten to a point where it felt too Soulsborne-y. Because it's not like the enemies weren't like wrecking you. You don't have like a crazy like stamina drain the way some of those games can have. Because I'm fucking terrible at those games. But yeah, like it. I don't know. Like I said, I'm probably gonna finish the demo. But it just something about it just doesn't look like it's a $70 game, which I'm sure I'm sure there's groups of people that will like it a whole bunch.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't remember. As far as I can remember, I don't remember hearing anything about this game. It's just the demo happened to happen, and I'm not interested, but I'm not like, maybe I'll play the demo this weekend so that me and you can talk about it better next week. But
yeah, it's definitely one of those like I could see you not remembering it because it was one of those things where they showed it. They didn't show it every PlayStation Direct or whatever the fuck they're called. But when they did, it was always just kind of like happened, like in the middle of the show. Like there's not really any fanfare for it or anything like that. And every time they showed it, it looked like a different game. Like I literally didn't know what the game was every time until the name popped up.
And I think if anything, my brain probably took it as a JRPG and not an action RPG, and so I probably was just like, I'm writing this off for right now because I've just played too many of them.
The initial stuff, it could like I don't remember it having much gameplay in like the initial trailers. It very much could have just been a JRPG in those trailers.
Yeah. Scrolling, I've been going through the trailers, just trying to see what the combat looked like. There's like maybe 10 seconds of combat in this 6.5 minute trailer, and it's like, yeah, no, they show like kind of fast combat that would make you think like a Platinum type game or whatever.
And maybe it has like I want to call it stances because I other games have called it stances, and I can't think of what else you would call it. Styles maybe, where like you can change your loadout to be more of a fast loadout where you are kind of dashing in, dashing out. Like it's less about blocking and parrying and more about kind of like quick attacks and then moving away.
Or I'm gonna say it again. Or maybe it's the fact that you only played 15 minutes into this hour plus long demo, and you might not have gotten everything.
I mean, I'm not saying I got everything. I'm just saying literally first impressions.
Well, I think 15 minutes is too short for a first impression of a video game.
I mean, is it an hour-long demo? Because
it was an hour-long demo.
It's a very small download. It's
an hour and 5 minutes is what I saw online.
I am shocked at that.
There are people that have spent 50 plus hours into this, which is why I'm like, either it's a 99% not your type of game.
I don't think it's my type of game. If it's Sekiro themed, like it's not for me.
Yeah. I mean, look, Sekiro is a different kind of combat system than any other Soulsborne game.
Oh no, like I've seen a bunch of Sekiro played. I never tried it because it does not look like a game I would have fun with, and it's always when it initially came out, it was $60, and I wasn't going to drop $60 on something that like it's not even that I was on the fence for it. It was just like I don't think I would like this.
Yeah, I've never played Sekiro either, so like I don't know like the ins and outs of Sekiro. I just know that it is a completely different kind of style of game than most other Soulsborns.
When I've seen Sekiro, it reminds me of like the Xbox era like Ninja Gaiden games, which were just as fucking hard as modern Soulsborne games. And I'm also trash at those, so it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna spend $60 on something that I'm just going to be very bad at.
Yeah.
But yeah, like again, I'm not saying this game like no one should play this game. I'm just saying like I don't think I would spend $70 on it. Just off of like very quick impressions. It didn't really feel good. That's all. But the other thing I played is Penny's Big Breakaway. Have you guys heard of this at all?
Nope.
No.
So it is actually, let me double check this because I might be misremembering. So it's like a 3D, like it's a 3D platformer that's very much in the I don't know whatchamacallit, in like the N64 PlayStation vibe of those games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who made this? So Private Division made this, but I could have sworn the team that worked on it worked on something else. Sonic Mania, that's what it is. Evening Star is the studio that did Sonic Mania. So they went from doing that like 2D style like platformer in one of the better Sonic games of the last 20 years, and then transitioned into doing like an N64 style 3D platformer. And it's actually a lot of fun. And also incredibly frustrating, like those games were. So you're Penny. You're a yo-yo artist, I guess is the best way to put it. And there was at the beginning of the game, you see like a flyer for an audition to be like a performer in some sort of like event that the Emperor is having. And you get mistaken for like stealing something that you just happen to find. And the Emperor basically declares that you are a criminal and sends his army of penguins after you. Which, like, yeah, his army are just penguins. So that's fun. But every level is just you're traversing the level. There's like different platforming stuff, as well as penguins will just come rushing out of walls sometimes. And you can't like stop the penguin. You just kind of have to keep them at bay until you can move on to like another area where they can't get to. And the way that they kind of like attack you is just they're just trying to capture you. So I think it's 5 or 6 penguins, I want to say. If you get kind of jumped on by that many, you're captured. So like anytime penguins jump on you, you kind of have to like spin in a circle, do different like air tricks, things with the yo-yo that would like knock them off of you. And you can also use your yo-yo to kind of like bat them away, and you'll like kind of like knock them off the level, but then new ones will spawn in after a few seconds. So those sections of the games are a little bit more like hectic. You're just trying to like, you're not spending time looking for collectibles at that point. You're just trying to get like from point A to point B to kind of move on. And then a couple of the levels have had these basically like Katamari Damacy like obstacles, where a giant ball of penguins will just chase you throughout the level. Mm-hmm. And you'll have little breaks here and there as like you like turn a corner where like the ball can't roll anymore, so the ball will just like roll off the edge and like fall to the platform below. But that level may have been one of the hardest I've played in like a platformer since like playing N64 platformers, because the game has fixed camera angles. Like you can't move the camera. The best you can do is you can use the D-pad, if assuming you're playing on controller, to kind of do one of those like camera leans where you can kind of just see a little tiny bit in any one direction, but it's not really good enough to play that way. Mm-hmm. So there are a few times where like you get dropped into a thing and the ball is chasing you, and you have to start running right away at the camera with like a turn, and you don't know what to turn or what obstacles there. You kind of have to die once or twice throughout that just to learn the pattern of things to know how to get through it. But you have like some cool stuff you can do as Penny, because she has this yo-yo that has like a cosmic string. You have like a spin it's like a spin attack. Like I said, it'll knock the penguins away. It won't really do damage to them. But you can just kind of spin in a circle with the analog stick, and the yo-yo just keeps spinning with you. You can use the yo-yo to basically make swings in midair. Like the yo-yo doesn't have to connect to anything. You can just jump over a big pit, throw the yo-yo out, and hold the button, and it will freeze in midair, and Penny will swing back and forth until you let go, and she'll then like either go forward or backwards depending on where you were at in the swing. And you can also ride the yo-yo. So you can kind of like jump in the air, and she'll throw it on the ground, and as it's spinning, we'll like jump onto it, and it'll like boost her forward a little bit. If you're lucky and you find either something in the level that will give you a boost, or like it's all downhill, you actually get some decent speed and can like do like some big jumps off of it. If you're on flat ground though, it lasts for like 5 seconds, and then you're just you're moving less than what your running speed is. So it's not all that useful when you're being chased by like the penguins or the giant ball that's chasing you. Mm-hmm. Rich, knowing that like you don't love platformers, I'd be interested if you would even be able to deal with this game.
I was looking it up while you were talking about it, and I have zero interest in it.
Yeah. Like, I kind of figured, like, I know, like, platformers are just not really your thing, the way that, like, the Sekiro or the Soulsborne games aren't mine.
Yeah.
But, like, it's fun if you have any sort of nostalgia for that era of platformers. Like, you can... It's really well done. Like, that team, like, is good at making games that have a retro feel, but are modern and not quite as frustrating as those games used to be. Because even just... The game is kind of... what's the word I'm looking for? It's reasonable with checkpointing for the most part. Even when you completely die, it doesn't make you restart the whole level. You actually do have an option to restart at your last checkpoint. So as long as you hit the checkpoints as you're going, like you can fuck up quite a bit and not just be completely screwed.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's a really good Steam Deck game. Like that's how I've been playing it. I've been playing it while we were like watching TV, since like it's a platformer. Like there's not a whole lot of story going on. There's lots of collectibles and stuff, though. Lots of different items you can pick up, coins. There's people throughout the levels that will occasionally give you like little mini side quest sort of deals. Like if you're in like a construction area, there might be these giant screws, and they're just like, hey, we need somebody to loosen all these screws. So you have to kind of like jump on them and spin the yo-yo around to like tighten or loosen them. A couple times people have asked me to like deliver letters to people, where they just like drop a letter on the ground and you just have to like pick it up with the yo-yo and then like carry it with you for a little while. And like all of it's super quick. Like it activates as you get up to the person. If there's an item, the item just spawns. You just hit it with the yo-yo real quick. And then as soon as you get anywhere in the vicinity of like the person that item's going to, it just completes it. Like the game doesn't stop. It doesn't make you like go through like a bunch of like text blocks or anything like that. You kind of get to just keep playing, and it'll just show you kind of, you know, the 2 or 3 sentences of dialogue they have at the top of the screen while you're kind of doing your thing. Yeah, it's been fun so far. I'm on like the 3rd world, and every world's like 6 or so levels. So there's still like a decent amount of game to go. And they kind of just give you everything up front. I haven't really unlocked any new like abilities or anything. Because like everything you can do, like it's good to get through these levels. Like you don't need a lot else. The only thing I could see them doing at some point is maybe giving a way to actually fight the penguins versus just kind of like fending them off for a little while. Because at times it is actually incredibly frustrating to like be in an area where there's like stuff that you want to like check and just not really being able to do it because of how many penguins are happening. But yeah, other than that, it's a fun like play for like 15-20 minutes here and there. Like just need something to do.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad that team kind of broke out and did their own thing, versus like just making more like licensed games like Sonic. Like I love Sonic Mania. That was a fantastic Sonic game. But like Sega wasn't going to really like keep that up. Like they like redesigning Sonic every game and making it worse in like most games. So like this team being able to go off and like make their own callback to like the mid 90s of platformers is pretty cool. I'm hoping that this game has like a good like speedrun community, because I feel like it'd be fun to watch people just totally fucking blitz through this game, because there's a lot of cool like movement tech you can do, and I have to imagine that there are, with the way some of the levels are laid out, there have to be like some pretty cool skips you can do just to get like, not even like glitch skips, like I'm not talking about like clipping through walls. I mean just jumping from one place to another in a way that might not be totally obvious, but if you like string together the right movements, like you just get somewhere that you just wouldn't normally be able to if you didn't like really practice it.
1 hour, 13 minutes, and 20 seconds is the current speedrun record for this game. For
okay.
PC.
I wonder how long to beat is it?
Well, so that's the any percent restricted, which I'm not sure what the rule is. The 100% is only 2 hours and 14 minutes though.
Okay, and it's a 6 hour for main story or 14 hour for a completionist.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's damn. I mean, it's not like a brand new game. Like I think it came out earlier this year. Yeah, February. Came out in February, so it's been out for a couple months, which is, you know, that's a lifetime for these speedrunning games.
107 followers, 449 runs, 48 players. So yeah, it's not uncommon.
Yeah, but I'm hoping it's a game that gets thrown into like a GDQ or something like that, like one of the events that I actually watch. Because while I like speedrunning, it's not a thing that like I'm not just gonna like tune into folks that do it on Twitch on a regular, because that's not my thing. Because like while it's interesting to see like how those people like do those runs, if you're not also a runner, like it can be a little boring watching that, because it's a lot of them just resetting the game. Because they're not doing it for like a marathon or anything like that. Like they're doing it to like practice or as like a world record attempt. So like if they fuck up in the first 10 minutes of the game, they're just going to reset the game, because like why take that loss in time if you're, still at the beginning of it.
Yep.
Whereas like seeing it on like GDQ with like the marathon stuff, like everyone just comes in and like they deal with mess ups. Like if something goes wrong, they just keep going. They generally like they factor that into like their estimate. Like usually like the people that run it, it's like, okay, well, we're going to run this game in an hour, but our best time is actually 40 minutes. So we're giving ourselves a 20-minute buffer just in case things go sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes people hit it in that 40-minute range that they're used to, and other times things go incredibly sideways, and all of a sudden it's been an hour and 5 minutes. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one a lot. I'm looking forward to like kind of. It's not a game that I'm like crazy playing, but like it's fun to just like grab my Steam Deck while we're watching TV and play for like a half hour. So I'm gonna continue doing that.
Nice, sounds fun.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, that's all I got. You guys want to talk about anything else, or should we wrap up?
I mean, apparently I'm really good at Fortnite.
Okay, so did you get like a battle royale victory or whatever it's called, victory royale?
So, I on Thursday, I usually play Sea of Thieves, but one of our normal trio was away on Thursday. So me and the other one, I've been wanting to check out the whole Greek mythology stuff they have going on Fortnite right now.
I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, they're doing like a whole Greek mythology thing plus Avatar: The Last Airbender thing going on. So like he was like, we could do that. I'm like, fine, I guess I'll install Fortnite. So I installed Fortnite on Thursday. They have this whole racing mode. I played that, and when I was playing with him, I was always just behind him, but he's like platinum ranked. When I was playing by myself, I was always first. So I'm really good at the racing game on there, which is basically Rocket League. And then we did the Battle Royale. On my very first match of Fortnite Battle Royale, no build mode, I won with about 9 kills. On my very second match of Fortnite no build Battle Royale, I won with like 6 kills. On my third match of Fortnite Battle Royale, we were doing duos, so it was duos for all 3 of these. I won with like 5 or 6 kills. So my first 3, I am 100% when it comes to Fortnite duos Battle Royale. And then last night I got done stream, and I was just sitting at my desk. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, let's just see. And so I turn on Fortnite and I do a solos match, and I'm second place with like 4 kills. I'm like, am I just good at Fortnite? Is that just how it is? I'm good at Fortnite?
I mean, you've played an actual good battle royale, so yeah, you're probably going to be better at Fortnite.
Have you ever played Fortnite though, Drew?
Yes, I have. It's shit. It's a garbage game.
Fortnite actually has sound. So
fine. You could probably play it without sound and be better.
Wait, what game doesn't have sound?
Apex
apparently has bugged sound for some people. I've never had it.
Oh, really?
You won't be able to hear footsteps of people right behind you and stuff like that. Like I've ran into that issue. I've know a lot of people who play a lot of ranked that have ran into that issue. Like I mean, Apex. Look, Apex is good. It's a very good game, but I had more fun playing Fortnite than I did on those 3 matches than I ever did playing Apex. It's not surprising that I had fun playing Fortnite. It is such a popular game. It is a game made and built to be fun. Like Apex is also a game made and built to be fun, but I've had I don't know, a lot of times I've played that game, I've just dealt with a lot of bullshit. And
also real quick, you might have only been playing bots.
No, we were playing actual people because the guy I was playing against I was playing with is ranked. Like he's done ranked. Like we were playing duos with somebody who's played a lot.
I don't know how it handles the matchmaking with duos, but until you're account level 10, you play bots.
If that's true, then that's stupid.
I forgot they did that.
Yeah, that's been a thing like essentially the entire time Fortnite's existed.
It's definitely one, like, it is cool for solo to, like, it would be cool if they, like, made it clear. I don't know if they do or not.
It doesn't.
Okay, so that's shitty because that, like, give people like a little bit of an introduction so that like they can get used to the map and the way the game plays before like getting dumped in with 100 people who may or may not have played for years and just wreck you. But like to like not make that clear up front, like that is actually just shitty because then like Rich may or may not have been playing bots and it's like now like are you actually really good at Fortnite? Probably because you were playing with a ranked person. So, like, I can't imagine they made a ranked person play against bots. I feel like it would take that person's skill level.
Yeah. I don't know, but, like, I did PUBG. I did one PUBG match, and you have to do, like, 3 PUBG matches before you can start playing against people. I did one... Yeah, and I did one PUBG match, and I'll be 100%. I hated it. I hated PUBG. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was boring. I also just, like, I don't know. I didn't have fun playing PUBG, and it was just the one match, and it was with bots, and I don't know if I won that one. I can't remember, but it's just, I know I didn't like it, so I uninstalled it immediately.
Yeah, I feel like too many other games have done Battle Royale better.
Yeah.
That at this point, like, PUBG is just a little too...
PUBG is very different than kind of the others. PUBG, I mean... PUBG is like the thing that made battle royales matter.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Fortnite wasn't a battle royale until PUBG became the most popular game in the world. Like,
yeah. Fortnite
was never supposed to have this multiplayer battle royale mode. It was supposed to be like a 4-player co-op survival game.
Yeah.
But then PUBG happened, and they were like, "Well, we could do that," and then so they did.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, if you paid for Fortnite back when it first came out, you have access to that. And if you want to play that mode, because it's still on Fortnite.
Oh, is it still in there? Okay.
Yeah, you have to pay for it.
Okay.
In order to access it. And this is the thing, I guess the good thing you could say that they're doing with Fortnite is, like, they have the Battle Royale, they have the no build and the build Battle Royale, and then they have the racing, and then they have the music game. All free to play. And then they have a bunch of, like, user-created stuff that you can get into. Like, we played this one, like, boss Valhalla mode or something like that. I can't remember. It was very interesting where, like, you go and you try to level up your character, and then you just fight a big snake. And then after you fight the big snake, you go level up your character more, and then fight a stronger big snake. That's all, like, user-created. Like, they have they even have, like, the Fortnite Lego stuff, which is also... Like, it's free to play. You can just go right into it and you can play, and it's just this whole survival crafting building world that you can do on the Fortnite island, but it's in Lego. Like, they do a lot of, like, good when it comes to I like being accessible for everyone to play. Like I said, it's not a shock I had a good time. It's not a shock when it comes to playing the game, it's not a shock that it's popular. I tried to not get into it. I always hated the build mode. That's what I was against. And when they incorporated no build mode, I was like, okay, maybe at some point I'll play it. And the fact that, like, how often they update the game when it comes to new events and things like that, new islands, like, where they change up the map and obviously all the licensing that they do with the game as well. Like, I'm interested. I'm interested to play it more. Maybe after I reach level 10 and I find out, okay, maybe I was playing bots, who knows? I don't know. But I had people on there who were watching me play, and I straight up said, this is my first ever match. And they were like, dude, you're killing it. Like, they said nothing about me playing against bots. So, who knows? Yeah.
And, like, honestly, like, I can't imagine that they pull bots for a duos when one of the players is ranked. Like, that just seems silly if they do.
Agreed. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how. I'd imagine they're shit would be good, but I don't know if it's like, oop, here's a level 1, it's a bot server, just immediately. You would think it balances out, but fuck, who knows?
Yeah, but like
they're also busy making 9 other games inside the game. Who knows how much they give a shit about actually making their matchmaking work?
I mean, they're making money, so that's what really matters to them.
Exactly.
And like, this is not a shot against Fortnite, but like, it's kind of like lowest common denominator, like in kind of a good way. Like they found the way to make that style game work for the largest group of people. Like Apex doesn't work for everybody, PUBG doesn't work for everybody, Call of Duty Warzone doesn't work for everybody. I feel like across the board, people can fall into Fortnite, whether they're like kids or like people that have been playing like PUBG or any of those. Like most people that seem to give it a shot seem to like it. Like it might not be like I'm going to play hundreds of hours of it, but they're like, oh yeah, no, this is a totally fine game.
Yeah, I am still. I have Apex uninstalled. It's been a year basically since I last played Apex, and I'm still like, you know what? I just don't really want to play Apex.
Well, you played it every day for a month, right?
Not every day, but every stream.
Every stream day, which is what, 4 days a week?
Yeah, 3 to 4 days a week. I think it was 3 days a week because I think I still did Sea of Thieves on Thursdays. I can't 100% remember. I'd have to go back to look at my schedule to actually be sure. But like, I don't think I played it. I at least played it 3 days a week for an entire month, and I played it on ranked, so that also gives it a bad taste. But I don't know. I have had a lot of unsavory experience when it came to playing Apex. I've had a lot of rough matches. I've had a lot of like just frustration. A lot of like, I don't understand how that worked. Just a lot of issues when it came to Apex. No, it looks like we weren't doing Thieves Thursdays back when I did the Apex stuff. Oh, 32742 Thieves Thursday. Okay, yeah. So I probably took that month off of playing Sea of Thieves to just play Apex. But yeah, I'm not saying Fortnite is the best game in the world. I'm not saying Fortnite is definitively better than Apex.
It's not a bad game though.
I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's trash. After having had played it and put some time into it, like I was always against it. Not because I don't know why I was like sort of against it. I was always disinterested. There was never something that interested me enough in the game to want to play it until the Greek mythology stuff came out. And I'm like, you know what? I want to check this stuff out. I want to see what all this stuff is. I want to see what they have. Like it's absolutely a weird game. The fact that I can fight like fucking Goku and shit like that. Which that's the other thing why I don't think I was fighting bots, because I had people with custom characters. I had like custom made characters. I could have swore there was a Goku and there was a couple of other like custom made characters.
I mean, again, totally possible, but also I could totally see them wanting to put all the possible skins on the bots to show people the shit that you can buy in the game. Like, there's definitely reason they would put bots in the skins in the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, because you have to either buy the skins, or do they do them in like loot boxes, or is it strictly like you have to buy V-Bucks to then buy the skins?
I'm pretty sure it's buy V-Bucks to buy the skins.
Yeah, so you definitely want people especially when they're playing solo, because like playing a game like that solo is going to be less fun if you're just immediately losing. I feel like if you're playing with somebody, even somebody else that's not ranked, and like you get dropped into a real game of people, you can still have a good time and just chalk it up to like, oh, well, like, you know, like we fucked up. Versus like if you're just by yourself playing, it's just like, cool, I have died 4 rounds in a row within 30 seconds. Not going to play anymore and just kind of like walk away. Whereas like if you do get that, like, well, here's, 10 games where you're playing bots and you can feel like you're getting something out of it. You're more likely to spend a little bit of money on it, because it is still free to play, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Like, I'd be tempted to try it in the no build mode, because I thought the building made shit completely broken. Like, when you're trying to play on console, against people playing on PC that can build insanely fast, it's a broken experience. But
I actually didn't know it had crossplay between PC and console.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For the build mode, I should say.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, that was the only thing that existed.
Yeah,
for
up until last year, 2 years ago, all it had was no build mode, and it was crossplay with all of it.
Yeah, like
all it had was build mode, and it was crossplay. Yeah,
I didn't know it had. I didn't know it had crossplay. Period. Like I could see it now with no build mode because, like Droo said, like that is definitely one of those situations where you can't really compete on a console when it comes to building stuff. Like analog sticks don't get the job done the way a mouse does.
Yeah, I mean, like Fortnite was kind of like the game that really made crossplay need to happen.
Right. I do vaguely remember that now.
Like it was Epic going, "Hey, look what we can do."
Yeah, it was Epic doing, "Hey, look what we can do," and then Epic was like, "Oh, by the way, we'll accidentally make crossplay available between Xbox and Sony on Rocket League," and then it was like, "Oh, I guess we can just do crossplay now."
Which, hey, but Rich, I'm glad you had a good time with Fortnite.
Yeah, it was fun. We'll see what happens, I guess, if and when I ever play to get to level 10.
It seems like you're going to have to do that in May. May is going to be Fortnite month.
No, it's not going to.
7 days a week, you're playing Fortnite. Let's go.
No. New Sea of Thieves season starts next week, so we'll at least we'll be sticking Sea of Thieves on Thursdays, starting specifically for short next week. But
I don't know. For some reason, I find it weird that Sea of Thieves has seasons, but also it makes sense.
I mean, it's a free to play game. Well, technically, it's actually not a free to play game, but it's a games as a service type of game. So it keeps adding the seasons to keep giving you more things to try to get, and it's the great thing about Sea of Thieves seasons is we play once a week, and generally throughout the season, even just playing once a week for 3 to 5 hours, we finish the season pass with 6 weeks left to go. It is very accessible to the common gamer, or to the casual gamer. It's not like a hardcore, super specific, Apex is. It's also a different kind of game, but Apex's season passes tend to be. I played Apex for a month straight. I didn't get anywhere near getting everything in the battle pass, but the objectives and things like that for the battle passes are a lot different. Whereas Sea of Thieves tend to be just play the game and do different things, and you're gonna get points, and eventually you're just gonna get the season pass. And I've paid them twice for the season pass just because I used some of the money I got from my first season pass to buy other consumables, or not consumables, things. What's it called? Things you can wear. But if you don't spend any of the money that you get after you buy your first season pass, every season pass is free. So, and just don't buy the season pass until you finish it. And this way you get everything once you finish it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. This way, if you don't get everything, then you don't buy the season pass, and you didn't lose any money.
Yeah, or at least don't buy it until you've gotten what you want out of the season pass.
I'm
sure there are things on there that maybe you really want a thing that you get with it, and
generally what you're gonna want is the stuff at the very end. But it's the same with any game that has a season pass. There's a top tier, there's the free tier, and then there's the not free tier. And it's generally, if you're gonna buy the not free tier, or you're gonna buy the stuff for the not free stuff, it's you're gonna want what's at the end of it if you want anything within it, because it's all stuff for your ship, so it all matches, or it's all clothes that you can wear, so all the clothes match, or it's all weapons that match and stuff like that.
All right. Well, if you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also support us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of it helps. You can find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline, or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo. And you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And Rich, what is your streaming?
Twitch.tv/p_1. That's where I'm playing video games Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Monster Hunter World, Helldivers, Sea of Thieves, whatever else I can think of.
Cool. And with that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See you.
Bye.